In 2007, acclaimed director David Fincher made Zodiac, a movie starring Robert Downey Jr., Jake Gyllenhaal, and Mark Ruffalo. The movie grossed a modest $20 million, but was a critical success and is often revisited on streaming services. The movie is well beloved by all. But it turns out this movie was completely unnecessary. 11 years prior to the creation of Zodiac, the Limbic Region was made. This is Ben from Last Resort Network, introducing a new series, Random Movie Reviews. Using Real Good's random movie feature, I will be subjected to review whatever movie the randomizer selects. Naturally, the generator gave me a to-be selection, The Limbic Region, a movie made in 1996 that was directed by Michael Pattinson and stars Edward James Olmos and George Zunza. Oh, and it also features Don S. Jones from Twin Peaks. It's very difficult to pin down any history on this film. Michael Pattinson is an Australian director who allegedly, according to his website, has made 40 films along with various television episodes. Letterboxd gives him credit for 9 directed movies, the most popular of which, Ground Zero, has 206 viewers. The Limbic Region was a made-for-Showtime television movie that has a grand total of 67 log watches on Letterboxd. And yes, I think I was the 67th watch. Edward James Olmos is most known for his role in the Blade Runner films as Gaff, and he's also a veteran of the Miami Vice television series. He's the lead John Luca. He was a good fit for the rugged cop role in this movie. George Zunza is Bob De Niro's pal in The Deer Hunter, and he also stars in this movie as the obvious killer, Lloyd Warden. He probably has the most interesting and dynamic performance in the whole movie. So basically, this is a low-budget version of the Zodiac Killer story, where the killer is renamed to the Scorekeeper. In my brief research, not very many renditions of the Zodiac Killer story had been done in movies up to this point. John Luca, played by Olmos, is a former cop who is dying of some sort of disease. The only reason he's happy about this is he can smoke and drink as much as he wants to now. Unfortunately, at this point in his life, he also does not really get along with his family. He meets up with Lloyd Warden, Zunza's character, at the beginning of the film, who I at first assumed was Luca's friend. It's at this point that we realize the movie is mostly flashbacks, as Warden and Luca recount Luca's journey of following a serial killer while riding together in a car. We are also subjected to some terrible cinematography at this point, as the first killing is shown. In the scene of the first killing, slow motion is used as a crutch to make the scene work with the film's low budget. The lighting is also pretty shoddy, although this is consistent with the entire movie, as we are subjected to many rain scenes shot through wiper blades with low lighting where you can kind of see Luca and Warden's face together. Now, I won't fault the filmmakers too much because there was probably a lot of practical reasons they had to shoot the film this way. As the movie goes on, we learn that Luca was the lead investigator on this case of the Scorekeeper, and the serial killer keeps continuing with his killing spree. He taunts the police in letters to the newspapers. This is the main connection to the Zodiac Killer story, along with this movie being set in San Francisco. The killer also targets couples who are in lover's lane situations, in cars late at night. I will say the Scorekeeper is more concerned about the score and taunting the police officers than he is creating puzzles like the real Zodiac Killer did. Soon, Luca is led to Lloyd Warden by way of his mother. Luca is rightfully suspicious of someone who is suspected by their mom, and is soon convinced that Lloyd is the killer. There is no evidence that ties him to any of these scenes, but Luca claims he could see it in Lloyd's eyes when he was talking to him that he's the killer. The final half of the film is really about Lloyd and Luca's relationship. Luca's personal and professional life fall apart as he becomes obsessed with catching Lloyd. As the ride along through their lives comes to a close, the killer, Lloyd, turns everything on Luca. Some viewers may be interested in the ending, although it's taxing to get to the semi-interesting twist, maybe not twist, ending that you get. This movie is not good, but it does have some good elements, led by Zunza's performance. The story is promising, but it's very muddled. Also, there's not much that causes the viewer to like Luca, the movie's lead, which probably doesn't make it compelling to most people when the main character is not that likable. If I had to describe this movie in one word, I would say dreary. Zodiac compels you with dynamic performances, snappy dialogues, and great arcs. This movie is half-baked in most categories. Now, the budget for this movie, The Limbic Region, was significantly less than Zodiac, so you have to give it some grace. But if you're looking for an underrated gem or cult classic, you sadly will not find it here. As I mentioned earlier, Zunza's performance is really dynamic. He's super interesting as the Zodiac Killer. I'd have loved to see him star as the Zodiac Killer in a higher budgeted TV show or movie. I think he could have pulled off a really, really interesting performance, if given the right situation. Each time we do a review, we'll score the movie on the Funometer. especially when it comes to low budget movies. You kind of want to have a good time when you're watching them, because otherwise, what's the point? I'm sorry to say, but the funometer for this movie, I'm going to rate it a 0 out of 10. This movie may be interesting in some regards, but it's not fun to watch at all. And now we come to our final verdict, where we take the film into the courtroom and give a final verdict on whether this movie is worth watching or not. And I'm sorry to start out with the series by giving this movie a skip. Like I said previously, there's just not enough compelling to recommend this movie to pretty much anyone. Well, this has been Ben from Last Resort Network. Join us next time for another random movie review.